this week's episode on the SWAU's official channel of A Conversation with the Stars, we've got a phenomenal guest from a new show coming to MGM Plus very, very shortly on the 1st of December, which is Earth Abides. It's a wonderful Jessica Francis Dukes. Jessica, welcome to the show, my love.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, do you know what? I'm so excited because a month ago, I got a lovely email from MGM with the first 4 episodes of this show. And literally, it wasn't complete. The special effects wasn't complete. And do you know what? I've got to say, it's the most stunning piece of art I have seen in many years. And if anyone is watching and wants to learn a bit of the craft, a bit of a masterclass, is to check this show out, because literally I went through so many emotions watching this show.
Oh my God, you're making me emotional right now.
and literally, you know, 1 second you feel isolated, you feel sort of claustrophobic, and then the next you're feeling so much love and passion and compassion, and it's just fantastic. It really, really is. It's like it's like a how-to for humanity, I think, this show.
1,000%.
So I've got to say, congratulations, a wonderful piece of art, and I absolutely love your performance in this show. So if you could briefly tell the wonderful viewers whom you play and a bit about this show if they haven't seen the trailer.
I play Emma in Earth Abides. She thinks she's the last person left on Earth, and she meets who she thinks is the last man left on Earth. And I think there's a sort of thing that goes through her mind that goes, there has to be a reason that the two of us survived. There has to be a reason that or it has to be a purpose that we have, and that's why we're here. So let's do this together. And it's a beautiful ride through this love story of rebuilding civilization again. It's almost as if we got a new chance at the Garden of Eden, could we get it right? And so that's what Earth Abides is about. It's not about just the end of the world. It's about the beginning of the new world.
And let's talk about Emma, because she's such a fascinating character, because, I love seeing strong women on our screens. As I've said many times, I've got 2 young girls, and I get excited when I see strong women, because I want to be able to have them watch the screen and 1,000%. See other women literally taking the lead. And Emma is such a wonderful character. I mean, what was it about Emma that really got you excited in taking the role?
Oh, wow. First of all, when I read the script, I read the first episode first. And the way Todd Carmanicki writes is so poetically beautiful. And I come from the theater. I come from the world of Shakespeare, and also, so poetry is so important to me. And the writer just almost writes in poetry. And so I fell in love with that first. The writing is so important to me. And then once I read Emma, I come from a family of very strong women. I come from a family of very earth-driven people. We love the earth. We love nature. And so her connection to the earth, her power, how different she was. She was just like nothing I had read before in any audition. And also, when I looked at the book, I immediately got the book, and the way the writer talks about her in the book, she has so many levels and dimensions, and she's everything from an expert shooter to a beautiful, brilliant mom, to community. She's so many things. And I fell in love with that immediately. And so it was an immediate yes for me.
And if I'm ever in that position of being the last man on Earth, honestly, I wish I would meet an Emma, because literally that would be fantastic. But let's talk about the chemistry on the screen between you and Ish, which is played by Alexander Ludwig. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I love how that connection is from the beginning, and seeing how it grows over the episodes that I have seen. I mean, how difficult is that to get that relationship going off screen so it can be so authentic to what we see in the show?
Yeah, I think it depends on the actors. And y'all have to excuse me. I'm not that emotional. My eyes are watering for some reason. Goodness gracious. They're like, oh my God, is she that emotional? But it depends on the actors. it depends on how open people want to be, how sort of willing to play people want to be. And the day I met Alex, he was so wide open. And so am I. I'm a very open person. And we immediately just sort of trusted each other, you know. And I think too, we knew what we were about to go into. We knew the journey that we had to go on, and we believed in it so much. We believed in the script so much. And I think that both of us immediately were like, I'm in. And so the day we met was the first table read. And it was like this moment where it's like you meet a fellow actor who is just as invested as you, has no ego, is full heart and love and just wanting to do the work and play. And the both of us were like that. And so there was nothing planned. We had no meetings where we discussed, you know, how we were going to do this or who Emma and Ish were. It was just two people saying yes. And that's what you see in Emma and Ish.
There's so many amazing scenes where you see the vulnerability in both of them and how they complement each other. Was there any point in when you were filming this show that you stopped and thought, do you know what? We're making magic here? Because literally there's so many moments that put the hairs on the back of my neck up in how amazing they were. So have you got any scenes that you can potentially share that you thought, actually, this is great?
It was our very first scene together.
Yeah.
Our very first scene that you see in the house, we hadn't gotten a chance to really act together yet. We had met each other table read. We read across the table, you know, but we weren't really doing the work yet. And the minute we started, the very first take, we just were talking to each other. And it wasn't two actors finding interesting, clever things to do and trying to be great actors. We literally were two people talking to each other. And it was so much truth that I was like, if this journey is going to be the rest of the way like this, it's going to be epic. And that's my favorite thing about this show. It's hopefully the audience doesn't see acting. Hopefully they see themselves in a room having this conversation, and they can put themselves in the shoes of every character and say, I see myself. And I hope that, you know, they can feel the same way that we felt while we were shooting it, which is, this is magic and this is something that I need right now. And hopefully it resonates to the audience. But that was it for me. It was the very first moment.
I think it's crazy how this is going to really affect people in so many different ways because of the pandemic. You know, most recently, I think that we all lived through that and experienced isolation to some form. So I think during the pandemic, it really showed you the good people and the bad people, the people that were respectful and people that's not. So this show is sort of similar, where sort of I think it's going to give the audiences you know, sort of life lessons or it's very thought provoking. Have you left the you know, filming this show, and have you come away with a takeaway in the way of life?
So many, so very many. What this show did for me as an actor is it forced me to process when all the things that we deem important are gone. Who are you at your core? You know, I think we define ourselves by the things that we value. And I think a lot of us have our values very mixed up. Some people have number one value is work and money, and you know, family is last or love is last, and they have this totem pole of things that are important: technology, cars, this, that, and not that that anything's wrong with that, but when all of that is gone, who are you? And this show forced me to feel what it feels like to strip all of that away. And I didn't realize how much it weighed, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much those things that society puts on us as important actually weighed, and the things that make us feel light and float are the actual things that are important. Family, love, connection, community, talking to someone who is a different color, religion, all those things, and being able to see them as a person and not a threat or different or whatever. And I got a chance to live in that world, and it was absolutely beautiful, because that's what this show is about. It's about being able to look at the person across from you and say, I see you. I don't judge you. I don't question you. I see you. And that allows a sort of freedom of being. And when people are able to truly be themselves, it's a beautiful connection between, all of that. So that's what I came away with. Yeah.
And Emma, for me, is such a trusting character in this show, and for good reasons. And then Ish is always suspicious, again for good reasons. There are some visitors that come in to the show, Charlie being one, which again, I don't know what's happened after the episodes I've seen, but personally, I don't trust him. I don't know if it's in his eyes, the way he walks, talks. I'm not sure. So I'm so excited to see the rest of the series. I really am. I mean, what can we look forward to? What kind of ride are audiences going to be on in this show?
That it's interesting that you mentioned Charlie, because this isn't a show with zombies and aliens and, this massive, unrealistic threat. The threat is people. The threat is the monsters inside of us. The threat is the things that we wrestle with, and predators that sort of walk and roam the earth, and I think that there are a lot of people out there that want to disrupt peace, that want to disrupt, sort of things that can lead us to just this happy, beautiful utopia. And it's about, sort of how we wrestle with that within ourselves, because everybody is flawed in this. Everyone is dealing with something. Everyone has lost whatever they had before the virus strikes, and it's just a matter of sort of how you move through the world, and how you can better the world. So for me, the presence of predators, even within ourselves in the show, is the most scary thing, because it's what really is the problem right now. It's what could really end this country, this world.
I mean, obviously, zombies are obvious. Do you know what I mean? We know that they're dangerous, but then people, we don't know what's under the skin. We don't know what's inside their mind. And that, for me, is the scariest thing. So this is what's great about this show. Yeah, there's no zombies. Yeah, there's some wild animals, but it's the people that you want to look out for. But I cannot wait to watch this. I mean, I'm sure that you've been asked this so many times in interviews. But if you were in this position in real life, what skills do you think that you would bring to the table if you met a real life Ish?
First of all, the best skill that Jessica has. I am the best cook ever in the whole wide world. I'll say that now. And so I love planting. I love gardens. I grew up being in nature. I can look at a tree and know exactly what tree it is, and therefore what I love about Emma is the idea of using the earth for all the things we need, whether it's medicine, whether it's nourishment, whether it's, all these things. And so that's what I think I would be great at. I would have a garden. I would have all the things that I need for healing and all of that. And then also be able to throw down. I think I could learn how to hunt and skin a cow and all those things. So yeah, that's what I would think.
Excellent. And you've played some amazing characters in your career. I mean, what part of Emma do you think will always stay with you? Because I'm sure that actors, they can move on to different characters, but they must have a bit of those characters in them going forward. So what part of Emma would you say is in you now?
Emma was the first time I got a chance to play a character that was so close to me. And she, in a way, reintroduced me to myself. And what I mean by that, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about with the takeaway, the things that I think sometimes as people, we make ourselves small, or we mute ourselves a little bit, just either to be polite or to just, not cause a shakeup or whatever. And then Emma, in a way, is so large. Even though she's small, she's so large. And because she has every bit of acceptance of her power. And that is something that I said after I've wrapped, because I got so sad. I was like, I won't get to feel like that every day. And I was like, wait a minute. It was me. I was playing her. I don't have to, not feel like that anymore. So that's one. I will never dim my light. I will be constant joy and love no matter what. But also what I will take away with Emma always is the ability to be selfless and focus on the other people first. Because I think the beauty of Emma is she sees the good in everyone first. She'll switch it up if you show her who you really are, but she sees good first, and I think that is what I will always take.
And more people need to follow that, because the world would be a hell of a better place if people thought the good in people first. So the 1st of December, this show is coming out on MGM Plus. Have you got anything planned for the premiere night? Have you got a watch party going? A few drinks and friends around?
Yes. So I am doing a pop-up restaurant. I'm doing a pop-up restaurant watch party where I'm going to cook for all of my friends and watch the episode. It's a beautiful, beautiful experience being a part of this, and I can't wait to watch everyone else experience it.
And have you kept anything from the set? Did you keep anything as like a memento?
I did. If you notice in the show, Emma wears a lot of crystals and jewels. She's big on crystals from the earth, and I am as well. And one of the things that I asked for, if you notice, she wears a lot of power bracelets, and I call them my Wonder Woman bracelets. And they're all different crystals from, different parts of the world. And that is one thing I asked, is there a possibility that I can have one? And they were like, for the amount of work that you just did, you can have all of them. So I have my bracelet. Yeah.
Well, Jessica, I cannot wait to see the rest of this show. Everyone watching, you need to watch it the 1st of December. You will not be disappointed at all. It's one of the best shows I've seen in a long, long time.
Oh.
And Jessica, I think you are absolutely marvelous. Honestly, captivating. It doesn't do you justice. So everyone needs to look at all your past work as well, like Ozark and everything else. But Jessica, thank you so much for coming on to the show. It's been an absolute joy.
Thank you.